Are you curious on how to be more confident in your body? Great, because today we're going to go over just that. For some people, it's going to be maybe like me, a disability. Maybe others, it's a physical characteristic, like your ears are too big or they're too small. Maybe it's weight related, or maybe it's something entirely different. But before we get into that, I would like to welcome you to my channel. This channel is solely built around self-development, getting you from where you are to where you want to be in life. So if that interests you, different tips and tricks, please consider subscribing. So how to be more confident in your body? I think this is a really tough topic to have because just like myself, I had a very unhealthy belief about this area to begin with. I remember when I was a kid and there was this kid named Keegan. He'd always get made fun of because he was overweight. And I remember telling myself, Alex, you're never going to get to that point so that you don't get made fun of like, Keegan did. And that's such an unhealthy belief because why would I base my happiness on what others think or don't think about me? So right off the bat, I had a very unhealthy idea of what it is to be, in a certain condition anyways. And I remember right after my accident, me seeing different individuals that were paralyzed as well, and that and they had a weight issue, and it was hard for the nurses, it was hard for that individual to even just do day-to-day things. So like I cut out pop, I cut out these different things, and that's just when it comes to like weight though. Then there was the physical characteristics. I'm like, oh my goodness, my hands, they're contracting. I'm not getting that same look that I used to have. And at first that was like really hard for me. And I'm like, what the heck? How do I reverse this? Yeah, there is no reversing it. And eventually, guess what? I saw their quads, they have the same hands. And it's like, you know what? It is what it is. If you can't change it, you have to come to terms with it. And I remember there's this one person, like, there's like no judgment. Some people, they come up to me, they're very curious. I'm fine with curious if they have questions about this, that, or, the next thing. But it's like normal conversation. They could care less about like the physical part. And I remember like being like really blown away with that and like kind of like surprised. And even nowadays, like just the other day, well, and my siblings have done this too when they were younger. But there's this 3-year-old and I'm like, hey, I waved hi and he made the same hand as I did. And he waved back, and I just thought that was so funny. I think it's interesting how we have this state of mind, like, oh my goodness, if it's confidence issues that we're talking about, it's worrying what other people think, and eventually there's this meme that I saw, and it was like people, teens and like everything, they're generalizing. People that are teens to 20s, they view that other people are thinking about them, and this and that. And then by the time you are like 50 or 60, you realize that, no, everybody's just thinking about themselves. And that really is so true, guys. Everybody's on their own journey. And regardless, even if they are thinking of you, it doesn't matter. You should not base your happiness on what they do or don't think. And guess what? When you get to the point of doing that, they see that confidence, and then they're really thinking an entirely different thing just because of that. Also, if you have that group of people that are having those judgmental thoughts anyways, maybe it's time to hang out with a new set of groups like that one individual that I met. I don't think that they're a healthy group to be with anyways. And the last thing I want you to ask yourself is it something you can change? If it is, are you willing to do it? Is it really that important of you too? And if it is, great, then do it. If it's not, great, don't do it. But just come to terms. You know, there's people that are living in every scenario that you can think of, and they're doing just fine. So no matter what it may be, so can you. There's this one lady that went to this Jack Canfield event, and weight was her issue. But there were some things that she really enjoyed doing. There was this, like eating chocolates and this and this and that. And Jack went up to her and he's like, hey, you know, are you willing to change and stop eating these different things? And at the end of it, kind of came down to no. He got to the point of saying, then that's fine. You know what? If these are the things that make you happy in life, then great. You do you. And I think that's like a really powerful point to be at. And you know what? She's doing so much better with that mind shift. And he asked her, he's like, hey, you know, are you married? And she's like, yes. You know, do you have a good love life? She's like, yes. Then what are you worried about? You know, you have all these external things anyways that most people maybe don't have because of that. But if you do, hey, you do you. And I think that was a really powerful thing. And guess what? Now she's living very happily just how she is, not allowing the thoughts of others to shift that happiness. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I will see you